Yeah, that's better. You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. Hey, my bad. I took a couple days off. The anime for One Piece just came back, and I literally watched the whole entire 8K. I'm officially caught up. Yes, you heard me right. I'm officially caught up. I never really realized that how much of spoilers there are in this card game before even watching the anime again. Very crazy. But look, I'm feeling so good right now. I think it's time for us to go over the top 11, not 10, the top 11 budget decks that's underneath the $100, because you see all the trailers going around. I mean, word on the street is your iPhone 16 Pro Max is going to be $3,000 now because the trailers motherfuckers need a cheap deck and win on top of that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the content, gang. Let's get it. So welcome back. Look, before we start, let me tell you how we're going to structure all this. The first 2 or 3 decks we're really going to show are really highly meta decks you could really hop into and really just spin and fuck your opponent's bitch. Fact, not an opinion. So the first deck we're going to go over is Blackbeard. In my personal opinion, this is the S tier. This is the best deck of the format. This is the meta shaping deck that's in the format at the moment. I mean, the whole entire meta revolves around this. It also depends on, is there going to be rushing decks? Is there going to be aggro? If this isn't here, then what's good? So this is probably the most meta defying deck in our OP10 meta right now. Fact, not an opinion. Don't let nobody else tell you anything different. Marshall D Teach is the best deck of the format in my personal opinion. This is what's dictating what is being played. And you know, in my book, if a deck is telling you guys what is being played, it's pretty much the best deck. Fact, not an opinion. As you guys can see, this deck is relatively cheap. The only thing is really going to be expensive here is the 4 finger pistols. You guys are probably wondering, why is 4 of this card $42? I'm actually surprised. I picked these up at Cents, but this is from EBO1. I'm about to say 2, but EBO1. This is from EBO1. And over time, if you guys just did not listen to me when I told you guys pick up this card with no sense, you just got gooed. You're paying the premium. This is the most expensive card out of this whole entire deck. And then the next cheapest card is this Kuzan. For 4 of them, you're paying $20 as well. So this is the Blackbeard deck. I'm not really going to explain what this deck really does, since we do have so many other decks to go over. In a nutshell, Blackbeard is a walking floodgate on legs. Pretty much is a skill drain on legs if you're coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! So before we actually switch to our next deck, as you guys can see, this deck is only $73. If you guys do want this deck, you guys can literally just buy this on TCG Player. But if you guys really just want to help out the gang, all you guys have to do is, like I said, it comes out to a 116. This is after taxes, after shipping and everything. My personal opinion, you probably want to go to your card shop, pick these cards up, but let's say the card shop don't have them. This is what the price is probably going to be for the cheapest version. But if you guys are really trying to help the channel, do not click this. I want you guys to go over to the best One Piece TCG channel on the planet. Fact, not opinion. I want you to click that more button and just go ahead and click this affiliate link. And when you do that, you literally just go straight to you know, TCG Player, and all the stuff that's already in your cart is already in your cart. So if you guys don't remember how to do it, just click this, opens up another page, and then go to our actual YouTube page. Just go ahead and open this up, click the affiliate link, and after you click the affiliate link, it will already be in the cart. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the TCG Player link. Help out the gang. Another thing I'm going to show you guys is this is the most recent OP10 pretty much leader breakdown of the most recent. I don't know what type of tournament this is, but I'm just showing you guys the results. As you guys can see, everything is pretty much viable. Blackbeard ended up winning this event as well. You have all these other decks, but meta decks that are budget, such as the Doflamingo's topping. I think Lucci may even be cheap. I'm not even sure, no, because of the Brooks. It's probably out of the budget range. But you know, things like Gecko top, Green Uta's in here, so a lot of decks could be played right now, just because Dofi Gate kept a lot of decks just because of the bounce law. And since this got hit and is less popular, a lot of these rogue decks, such as the Gecko Borio, of no Gecko, is showing up. Uta's showing up. So a lot of these decks are going to be showing you in this particular budget, you know, video is going to be viable. Look, I've already talked enough on everything within this video. Let's go ahead and get straight to our next best deck, our next budget deck of the video, gang. So the next deck we're going to be showing you guys is probably the biggest fraud of the century. It has to be Usopp. But like I said, everybody hates the fact that I talk so much shit about this deck, but the thing is that you guys should have kept your fucking mouth shut when I told you guys this deck was going to be mid. Everybody was gassing this deck up. Tier 0 deck, crazy combo, Sakazuki 2.0. I mean, just cringe every time you just try to peek and just sniff around on the meta for our OP9, OP10 type of meta. You get what I'm saying?
It's trash.
But besides the fact, Usopp, in my personal opinion, is a top 20 deck. Fact, not an opinion. It's not that shice, but like I said, anything could really be valuable right now. And at a price point at $50, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. The most expensive card is the Red Rocks. This is, look, if you guys plan on playing blue in the future, a lot of these cards are going to be staple. In my personal opinion, I'll just get a place to the Gravity Blades, a place set of Gum Gum, Red Rock. Is he playing the Pudding? This is also another championship topping list as well. This is some random list I'm pulling out my this ain't some random list I'm literally just pulling out my ass. This is a list that literally just topped in the most recent OP10 tournament that we did have. Okay, so this is the deck. The only thing that I can really see about this deck that is expensive is its 2 Monkey D Luffy's. I've seen some people not play this, but quite honestly speaking, too, look, you're gonna have to bite the bullet on this. If you guys cannot afford a $50 deck, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all should probably just click off this video, go look in the mirror, and you know, just ask yourself what the fuck you're doing. Get your life together. You look absolutely pathetic in the comments right now. So very cheap deck. I feel like this is a fraud deck. It is a top 20 deck. It's decent, but it's nowhere at S tier 1 or possibly even tier 2 deck in my personal opinion. But Usopp, very good choice in my personal opinion. If you guys are on the budget, it did just come out. And also, as you guys can see, it is also in block 3 as well. So this leader is going to be here for a while. $50 can't go wrong with it. Let's go ahead and get straight to our next budget deck of our OP10 meta. So for our third budget deck that I'm going to show you guys is this Blue Doflamingo, sitting at a whopping $60, which is very, very cheap. This is probably a top, I could say this is a top 10 deck from all the results I've seen so far. The only most expensive card you're really going to be looking at right here is this Trafalgar D Law. This is your bread and butter of the deck. Fact, not an opinion. If you guys are actually taking a look at this deck as well, you guys are going to notice this is the Jinbei. The only reason why is because Limitless TCG, or yeah, I think it's Limitless. The only reason why this Jinbei is so hungry because it's Limitless TCG has not updated for our most recent OP10 you know, tournament. So with that being said, I'm just gonna bless you guys with another particular list you could use that's still underneath $100. I mean, you guys can copy this list and run in the pudding. Just look at the ratios right here. Just go ahead and take a peep at the ratios. But this is a topping list that literally just topped the 4th of April, so literally 2 days ago. So as you guys can see, nothing has really changed. They just took out the Jinbeis, and here are all the ratios. If you guys are interested in Blue Doflamingo, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. As long as there's low cost character decks in the meta, Trafalgar D Law and this Blue Doflamingo deck is going to be spinning the block. Fact, not an opinion. Okay, so this is the Blue Doflamingo deck sitting at a whopping $60. If you guys like aggro, you guys like playing bottle blue, or if you just like playing Doflamingo at a budget price, look, you can't go wrong with this particular deck. Fact, not an opinion. Look, let's go ahead and get straight to our 4th budget deck of the video. So for the 4th budget deck I am going to show you guys is Yellow Calgera, sitting at $30. I'm not really going to go over this deck as much. If you guys just want a quick breakdown of this deck, this is probably the best aggro mono yellow leader in the game. The biggest thing about this deck is pretty much abusing this leader ability here and bringing out your own Calgera as well, replenishing life with the Ohm, right? Not the Ohm, the where is it right here. Nolan, just abusing the Nolan for some life replenish. Using the Ohm Holly combo as well, the Shura. This is pretty much a Blue Doflamingo deck in yellow, just without the removal with Trafalgar D Law. And another thing about this deck as well, not only is this cheap, the only most expensive card out of this deck is this 4 Poach the Ace, just applying pressure when your life gets low. But the fact that this particular leader is getting crazy amount support with some searchers for this deck, and also the new 10 drop in L coming in EBO2. So if you guys want to prepare for a deck coming out in EBO2, this is the deck to do it. This deck gets a huge power increase with EBO2, and it's only $30. If you guys like Rushy, if you guys are YGOD, Yellow Gang or Die, YGOD, shout out to all my delinquents. If you are actually a delinquent in the trenches, you know, spinning the block, fucking people's bitches, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely the deck for you because it will be getting a boost in a month. And this is one of my personal yellow decks as well, okay? So I'm not gonna really go over any of these decks anymore. Cheap deck, $30, pick it up if you guys do want to play a yellow type of deck moving forward, okay? Let's go ahead and get straight to our 5th deck that we're gonna show in this video. So for the 5th budget deck, we have Vegapunk, another YGOD member. You know, it's crazy. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I caught up with, you know, Egghead, the anime, and Vegapunk is actually crazy. I mean, just really sniffing around and really, you know, exposing shit, really crazy. But nonetheless, let's get back to the card game. Vegapunk is a very good, I feel like it's probably the best non-attacking leader, especially if you could really just abuse all of your triggers. As you guys can see, this is a very trigger-happy deck. That's pretty much plays out of trigger. You have Saborubu of the Monkey D. Luffy here, and also the Nami. You also have your blocker, which is Shaka. And if you could really just bring back a lot of these trigger cards with this Rayquaza help, very shice in my personal opinion. The most expensive card out of this deck is going to be this Nami and also this Monkey D. Luffy. And the biggest thing about these yellow decks is I always wondered why these yellow cards are so expensive when yellow is literally the worst color in the game. I honestly don't know why these cards are still so expensive. Like 4 of these is 10 and then 4 of these is 20. I don't understand because yellow's not doing anything. I mean, we barely have Yellow Kid topping in the, you know, top 10 decks right now in OP10. But nonetheless, if you guys like playing a non-attacking leader that's very meta viable, I mean, this deck does go on the time here and there. It could be a little bit stally, but if you guys can really get some crazy ass triggers and really just be able to abuse the events and the stage and you know, everything else this deck really got going on, this deck can really do something. And it really shows with the new support that this deck is going to be getting as well. Like I said earlier with Calgera, this deck actually does get a buff with EBO2 with the brand new 5-drop coming to the game in EBO2 next month for us as well. So if you guys are a fan of Vegapunk, this is a great time to pick it up. It's only $61, very cheap, and it does get buff after you know, EBO2 comes out next month for us. So that's what we have for Vegapunk. Let's go ahead and get straight to our next deck. So the next deck we have is a deck we shall not say. This is Voldemort. This is probably the worst deck to play. But like I said, if the deck is viable, it's underneath $100 in its budget. I'm going to show you, even though this is probably the most, no, not probably, this is the most hated deck in the game. And when you play this deck, you pretty much have the best sleeper. No shit. Hey, look, my bad. I fell asleep. That's Nami for you. If you guys want a boring ass deck that's cheap, blue, piss some motherfuckers off, this is the deck to play. Voldemort, like I said, if you sit down playing against Nami player, more than likely they smell. Just get ready. Get ready for a lot of backlash when you whip this deck out of your deck box. Fact, not an opinion. Let's go straight to our next deck. So the next deck we are going to showcase is Red Yellow Bello Betty. I'm going to just keep it a stack of you guys. $35 for quite possibly one of the best, a top 10 deck in OP11. I'm going to be real with y'all. This might not be something you guys should be sleeping on. Fact, not an opinion. If you guys just look at all the cards, everything is cheap. The only thing is expensive is this Monkey D Dragon. You need 2 of them. I see some people put at 3, but usually if you are a red player, more than likely you guys always are going to want staples of all these red cards. Fact, not opinion. Same thing with the yellow cards. If you guys don't know the gist of Bello Betty, as you guys can see, 3 of your Revo characters pretty much get a 3,000 power bump. Very nice. And if you guys look at a majority of this deck is Revo. I mean, you guys do have some things in here to, you know, handle some power, such as the Raise Max, just so you can be able to pop some shit with this card right here with the Limburg. This deck, all in all, very shice in my personal opinion. I mean, it's definitely really tough. And the main reason why you guys might want to look out for this deck to possibly pick it up right now, not only is $35, is that in OP11, this is a top 10 deck just because of how strong blue purple Luffy is. Blue purple Luffy is literally a tier 0 format, and this is one of the premier decks that literally counter blue purple Luffy. So if you guys want a deck that's going to be good into next set, so you pretty much want to practice now going into a very crazy OP11 set, this is a deck for you. Very cheap, very affordable, underneath $50 as well. Can't go wrong with it, and one of the best aggro decks out there. I feel like out of this deck and Zoro, those are probably the two best hyper aggressive type of decks out there. So very crazy ass deck in my personal opinion. And yeah, let's go ahead and get straight to our next deck for our budget video. Next deck we have right here is blue purple Reiju, sitting at $31. The only reason why I'm going to show you guys this deck is because it is $31, but this deck will be getting a buff in OP11 as well. From what the streets is saying, this deck is actually going brazy in OP11 with the support that it currently got. So if you guys are a fan of combo decks, this is the big thing too. There is a huge skill gap on this particular deck. So if you guys do want to pick up this blue purple Reiju, not only it's a high skill ceiling deck, it's one of the hardest combo decks in the whole entire game to play. The three hardest combo decks to play in the game is BY Luffy, Green Yellow Law, and after that it's this deck. Only thing about this deck is that it actually gets a power bump at OP11. It's only $31. The only thing I'm gonna tell you about this deck is that you really just want to abuse EGG right here. It's just the EGG. It's this big EGG. That's pretty much how it is. You pretty much just want to flood the board with all your babies. It's kind of like BY Luffy, to be honest with you. All these baby characters, you bounce back to summon the big Reiju or the big EGG right here, or the Nijiji right here. But the biggest thing is really abusing this EGG to apply pressure. It does go really well into blue purple Luffy as well. Very nice in my personal opinion. And you guys have a built-in Gecko Moria for your complete deck, summoning every single Germa type of character. This is literally a Gecko Moria on steroids. Outside of that, the only thing I'm gonna tell you about this deck is that if you guys do not see your stage, you pretty much lose 9 times out of 10. But if you guys do like combo decks, you guys do like hard decks, but really you know, blesses you when you actually know what the hell you're doing, this is one of these type of decks, and also gets a support in OP11 as well. Blue purple Reiju, $31. If you guys are a combo player, this might be it for you. Okay, so you know, we said enough. Let's go to get straight to our next deck. So for our next deck is green yellow Yamato. This does have the most expensive price tag so far, sitting at $93. When we actually just take a when we just take a look at the leader, if you guys are new, Yamato pretty much attacks twice. That's pretty much what it does. A lot of times you want to really go into this double attack with the Onami. Pretty much anything from the life goes straight to the grave if they cannot counter out of it. And the biggest thing too is just really abusing the triggers with the Kiku right here. You know, having some crazy life manipulation with this Momonosuke, especially since you are using a lot of Land of Wano cards. This is another combo piece in this deck right here, is this Hiyori. Just being able to cheat out a 5 or less from your hand, so you could cheat out something like this. Very crazy in my personal opinion. You got the Izu right here, just being able to rest a 4 or less. And then the biggest thing about this deck is just this Hody Jones. This is the reason why this is one of the most expensive cards in this deck, is this Hody Jones, sitting at 4 for $10. This really ends off games for you. And the other most expensive card is this one, this Mihawk. You need 4 of them, but let's be real, if you guys are a Yamato player, if you guys do like Yamato, this is a great deck for you to pick up. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Yamato is getting a structure deck on top of that, I think in like 2 months as well. So with that being said, if you guys do want to pick up a deck right now, because hey, worst case scenario, Yamato could be base. Yamato could just be broken, or this particular deck might just get some crazy support and makes this literally an S, I wouldn't say S, maybe a tier 1 deck. So I would rather pick this deck up now, since it is kind of on the brink of passing the $100 threshold. But nonetheless, if you guys do like attacking face, you know, pretty much just rushing, this also goes good into blue purple Luffy as well. Okay, so very good option. Green yellow YGOD member as well. And yeah, that's all I got for Yamato. Let's go straight to our next deck. So the next deck we have right here is this green Uta, $82. Not bad. What are the most expensive cards in this deck? We have the 4 Nami. The main reason why these cards are so expensive is just because they're so old, and it's just so hard to find these cards. But the reason why this card is so expensive, this is one of the staple glues in this deck. It's on play and also when attacking, so if you guys are playing against Blackbeard, it doesn't really affect you. Another card that's kind of expensive is this ﷺko right here. It is a blocker, but this is also another one of those main staples out of this deck, which is another reason why it's seeing $18. Outside of that, the other main card you're going to be playing is this Shanks. I actually cannot believe this Shanks is actually so much. I told you guys to pick up this card at $2. Now this Shanks is literally sitting at 3 for $20. The thing about these particular cards that this is from a structure deck. Any card that you see from a structure deck, you guys always pick it up. Very good option. And like I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, ﷺko actually topped in that tournament I showed you in the beginning of the video. This deck is very viable, and another thing about this deck is that a lot of people just don't even know how to play against this deck. So if people don't know how to play against this deck and you're completely, you know, spinning the blocks, spinning, you're pretty much just gonna have a good time. You're always going to win, and it shows that people don't know the matchup because this deck actually just got top 16 in that recent tournament I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. Green ﷺko, $82. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get straight to our last budget deck I'm gonna feature for you guys in this video. So the last budget deck I am going to feature for you guys is this green carrot. I'm going to be real with y'all. I looked far and wide, and this deck actually has a couple tops in OP10 and also in OP08 as well. A lot of people would rather play Bonnie, but Bonnie is kind of expensive. If you guys want to play a watered down version of Bonnie, this is pretty much it. When we actually look at the most expensive cards in this particular deck, it is the ﷺko. You're only playing 2, but this protects all your green characters. When we actually take a look at everything else, is also this 3 ﷺko right here, sitting at $28. I'm not sure if this is a staple. The thing about this deck is I'm not really too sure what this deck even truly runs. So before you actually go out and, let's say if you guys are a furry and you guys love walking around with white bunny ears on your head when you go to locals and shit, do some practicing with the sim before you guys buy this particular deck. I'm not really too sure on what particular cards this uses. I do know Kid is a staple, this Doflamingo is a staple, Hody Jones is a staple, Jewelry Bonnie, I'm not sure. I feel like Jewelry Bonnie's usually only ran in law. I'm not sure if they really need this card or not, but this carrot right here is also a staple. And outside of that, all these other cards do look like a staple for this deck, but make sure you just test with this deck, because like I said, I'm not sure how this deck is really supposed to look. I just know this deck is underneath $100, and if you are a furry, this is definitely the deck for you. Fact, that opinion. Look, so this was our budget video. I'm gonna be real, times is hard, tariffs is going into play. We're talking about $2,000-$3,000 iPhones, Nintendo Switches 2s, possibly going up to $600. Shit, I just went to the store and eggs was $20. It is expensive as hell to live. I mean, soon they're gonna start charging us just to breathe air at this point. You can't make any of this shit up. So hopefully this video helps you guys' pockets and wallets for you to be able to go to your locals and really start spinning the block and start getting some winner cards. Okay, look, this is all I got. Tell me what you guys think below of all of these particular budget decks we did feature. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll go.